When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig, it cost
$70.
Okay, but today it costs.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Hyphenate here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to easily use your Rode wireless meter jack, such as the lavalier mic that I currently have on me, or even, now this is going to allow you to use a Rode Wireless Pro microphone. Click on that. We can go into the options here. Don't change the format. Go to System, Sound. And it already has selected the Wireless Pro RX for receiver. If we click on that, we can go into the options here. Don't
Check 1 2 1 2. Hey, got it. Okay. Wait. What just happened? Alrighty then. I'm going to start from the top. Off. Reset box. Okay, well, check 1, 2. Okay, check 1, 2. Let's just get to it. Gonna grab my wire and then we're gonna get started. Let's just say that's all the bases covered. Alright, how are you folks today? Raise that a smidgen. Hi, how you doing? So, I'm Jamie, the host of this channel, and I figured today I would try just kind of talking to you guys while I work on some bonsai stuff. So I have here a kishu juniper, and I'll try to get the footage from this live edited together, condense it down a bit. But for right here, right now, my goal is to just come through and clean up a lot of this dead stuff. And without really cutting away at foliage, or good foliage, I'm probably going to put some structural wire on, think about what my plan for this particular tree is going to be next year. Now, I am excited to tell you guys that I officially have a source on some pre-bonsai that is that I'll be able to offer for sale on my website. This coming week, I'll also be meeting with a local garden center, and we're going to talk about providing some free bonsai to them that I will be getting from a local grower. He's starting to kind of transition away from working in bonsai. He's been doing it for 70 years now. And he was kind enough to offer me a pretty solid rate for lots of stuff that he's propagated over the years. So I'm hoping that once springtime rolls around, assuming that some of these pre-bonsai sales go well, I'm going to start doing some introductory classes down at that garden center, and hopefully just use some of the pre-bonsai I'm going to be getting from Hal Sasaki. For operating on such a shoestring budget, I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. But, it's been very slow going trying to build momentum, especially when it's like I'm immediately turning around and buying more trees, more tools, having somebody look at the website for me. It's just never ending. Oh my goodness, I see there's a viewer here. Hello. Thank you for stopping by my first stream. I really appreciate you swinging by. My channel is Rainy Bonsai, and right now I'm just working on cleaning up this little kishu juniper that I'm gonna try and have listed either locally or on my website and sometime next year. I got a couple of these earlier in the year, and this is the last one I haven't really done anything with. It just didn't have the same vigor that the other trees I got from this vendor had. So I just wanted to let it do its thing before I did anything. I don't know if you're familiar with bonsai or not, so I'm just gonna talk about this tree a little bit. I think it has some very solid roots here. Let's see if I can clean that up, make it a little more visible. These would have been propagated from cuttings at some point. I'm guessing 4 or 5 years ago, based off of the size of this. Obviously, I can't be 100% sure on that. And here soon, this tree will be ramping down, going into dormancy for the year. So I'm just coming through today, cleaning out some of the dead stuff, like right here. And I'm going to think about putting some structural wire on it so that as this tree goes through winter, and kind of take advantage of that lack of growing time and get some solid structure set in. I don't want to go too heavy though, because I am planning to repot this tree in the springtime, so minimizing stress now is a pretty smart move. Can I ask where you're watching from? That is fair. So I am in Colorado. I work with my friendly neighborhood bonsai professional, and he's been sort of mentoring me into growing my own bonsai business, since he can't really afford to keep me around too long during the week. I've been very, very lucky to have this option available to me, and just been trying to make every day count, you know? So I started working for him about a year ago, and this past summer, he started directing some of his clients to me whenever they had a task that either he wouldn't be around for or that he didn't feel like was worth his time. So I've just been trying to take every opportunity that I can to work on trees for myself, work on trees for other people, and I'm happy to say that it's starting to pay off. It's been a lot of work to get to this point, but it could be going so much worse than it is. I actually took all of my life savings and poured it into getting camera equipment for this channel and some inventory for my website. So I'm hoping this pays off for me because got to get some of that back at this point. The only way I'm going to get to Kokofu will be if this works out. Um, yeah, so right now I'm just looking, trying to figure out what size wire I'm going to use for this. I thought I had it all handy, but let's see. 3.5 actually looks right. So with aluminum wire, when I'm wiring, I'm looking at the thickness of the branch, and I'm shooting for a piece of wire that's going to be about a third of the thickness, give or take, of whatever branch I'm to style. A little less is okay. Definitely don't want to go more because at that point we're going to risk some breakage. But whenever I can, I enjoy getting to use aluminum just because it's so much easier on the wallet than copper. Mm, So I'm coming through to the little junction where the rest of my trunk and this earliest branch meet, making a little horseshoe. One wrap and a half. So now this first branch is nice and secure. I'm gonna come over. Wire over here. Turn it half in. Through. Over. Through. Yeah, so I already had plenty of time to drop wire and look at this tree, think about what my course of action was going to be. That. piece of 3.5 was not long enough. I'm just going to admit it. So, yeah, I've been staying pretty busy managing the garden lately. This week in particular, my teacher has been back in town, at least for a couple days. He actually flew out again earlier today. But we spent the last several days just working on relocating everything that we have to around the property. So when I go back today, it'll be exciting to see how everything is holding up in their new spots. The stuff that we have outside, I'm not expecting to be too dry, especially because it looks like things got watered in pretty heavy yesterday or the day before. But the stuff that we have in the greenhouse, I would definitely expect to have dried out a bit more. Like it's just a hotter environment than outdoors. Now I'm going to bring it to my front. Nice. Oh, and here if I can without forcing it too badly. Okay, and just checking in. That's about in line with the front. Let's see. Can you see that a little better? Maybe me wearing a black shirt wasn't such a great idea. Now I know for next time. Anyways, wow, I am being so hectic about this that I apologize. That on there. Let's see. Yeah, so a solid pad there. Got you going back. The answer is to bring you down and around. Build my apex here. If I do that, definitely get rid of that. And then support that blend. Okay, so I want to let you guys know that I do have a bit of a backlog going on with the videos that I want to make. I'm a full-time student, so it has been a little difficult just to have time to sit down and edit. But I have been making a point to go out and record videos while I can. I'm hoping that things will start slowing down soon and I can focus a little bit more on the backlog. But I have been sort of trying to grind out my little bonsai business with the free time I have. So in addition to making these videos, I provide assistant services locally. I have one ongoing client that is a bonsai professional. He owns a teaching nursery in my neighborhood, and it's kind of thanks to him that I can do this job. I go down there 10 to 20 hours a week, depending on the week, and do whatever it is he's need doing it. Usually that means I'm just watering, but there's lots of seasonal tasks, lots of bulk things that he doesn't have time to do that ends up being my practice, so to speak. Outside of him, I've been working on building up a web store so that I can offer some pre-bonsai stuff, some tools, really things that I would have found helpful to find online when I was first getting started in bonsai. The pre-bonsai that I'm going to have available, at least right now, are very, very beginner friendly. They're propagated by Harold Sasaki, and he has been kind of cultivating specifically for bonsai practitioners that are going to be in apartments or have much yard. Like, he's put a lot of thought and effort into curating trees that are going to survive the hands of people just getting started in the hobby. So lots of ficuses, lots of Portulacaria afra, a couple other low light, low humidity, whatever tolerant plants. So I've started listing some of those on my website. Some of them get posted in the subreddit Take a Plant, Leave a Plant on Sundays. And whatever doesn't sell, I've just been migrating over to the website. But I do have some conversations in the works with some locals to start providing, I'm going to say younger Yamadori for sale online. There's a gentleman here, Dave Kuntz. You might have seen the interview I did with him. That he has about 40 or 50 Shohin size bristlecone pines. So in the springtime, I'm hoping we'll be able to get those listed sort of one at a time. I have one for now, but that one is my personal tree. I'm not going to be posting that one online. But he put thought and effort into, okay, what does a beginner-friendly Yamadori look like, and specifically selected trees that maybe have some hints of age, not too much, but for the most part, they're just really nice, small specimens that it would be okay to make mistakes on and learn as you go. So I see that there's actually a viewer here with me. Hi, and welcome to the channel. I'm Jamie, a Denver-based bonsai artist. And instead of my normal plan of attack for making content, which is bring a camera and find a moment to edit, I figured I would just go live today since I'm at home and just kind of talk at the camera while I'm working. So if you have any questions, comments, whatever about what I'm doing as we go along here, let me know. Because I'm here to talk to you. I don't know if you know much or anything about bonsai. This is a kishu juniper I'm working on right now. Just kind of going through, putting some structural wire on this fella so that as we go through spring, some of this will set. And I'm planning to repot this particular tree. So I didn't want to style it in the spring. I styled all the rest that I got from this vendor earlier in the year. I just kind of haven't had time to sit down and get to this one. And copper wire I'm using today, I did get off of Amazon. The same supplier there has a beginner's aluminum wire kit, so if you check the description, I have linked to that, and I'll get a small commission should you get any wire through that link. Not a need, just saying. Try and scoot out of the way a little bit here. My front is somewhere through here. What do you think of the tree so far? Can I get like a thumbs up, thumbs down, frowny face in the chat? Yeah, wasn't entirely sure if my people skills are where they need to be to try and work the chat, you know? We'll get there, we'll get there. Now, because this is ultimately going to be a Shohin-sized tree, I'm being very, very conservative with what I'm removing. Just because I kind of want and need to cheat a little bit using foliage and branching that I wouldn't typically keep when styling the tree. It all ultimately helps flesh it out, add to the nice full silhouette. And when this goes into a bonsai pot, it's going to considerably slow down its development. Right now, in this rich organic soil, it is doing some of the best growing and hardest growing that it's going to do. And I just really don't want to jinx it. Splicing in along my existing structural wire. Cure that, and then all that's for, let's see, I'm on the inside of that. Should we use come to there? So a little bit about me. I've been doing bonsai for about 3 years, and I have been struggling to think of myself as a bonsai professional, even though I have been working in the industry for about a year now. I work at a teaching nursery here in Colorado. You may or may not know which one that is. I'm down there 15, 20 hours a week, helping water, learning all the horticultural side, and when I'm really, really lucky, styling trees. I kind of just so happened to meet my teacher at just the right time for both of us to to partner up. I was wanting to really learn and go deep into bonsai, and he was starting to hit a bit of a wall in running his nursery. So I've been very lucky in the fact that I get to manage his garden while he travels. And I get lots of great feedback on some of the stuff I do, even if he's not necessarily hands-on teaching me, if that makes any sense. I mean, he does, but it's not too often. Most of the time, I'm just focused on the day-to-day of keeping the nursery running. Now, if you're enjoying watching me struggle with this wire, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. I've been putting, honestly, way too much of my limited free time into trying to get this off the ground and offset just how expensive it is being a starving artist. Because working in a nursery 15, 20 hours a week and going to school does not pay the bills. But I find working on these trees way too addictive. This is just what gets me through the day. Here, I'm sorry. I know you can't see what I'm looking at here. So I'm just kind of playing with where some of these pads are going to fall, because my apex is going to come from in here somewhere. Think like that. So I'm thinking ultimately this is going to go, so it doesn't really go with either pad unless that just looks convoluted. Okay. Thanks for thinking that through with me. Okay, so I'm just gonna marry these two, get some structural wire on them, and I'm gonna stop. Because this tree is shutting down. It's about to just go outside in my cold frame through the winter. And I want to style it in this, or repot it in the springtime. So I just want to minimize how stressed this probably gets. Aww. Well, I knew something was wrong there. I could feel it. I was too rough. Tragic. So. There. Uh, I do want to call attention to one rule I'm being mindful of at the moment, which is that you only, or you do not want more than 3 pieces of wire in one spot. I'm just saying that as I'm getting my 3rd piece of wire through this junction. That's not going to be secure, so I'm going to wrap around that shoulder fully and then come out to this branch. And look at that, no wobbles. Now, do you have any questions for me? Because we're kind of wrapping up here as far as what all I can even do to this tree today. And I think I've given the news I have in regards to sourcing pre-bonsai and getting some sales going. I'm more than happy to hear any questions you have. I just Do not like that. Just stop. Well, if you'll hang tight 1 second, I'm going to grab my deadwood tools. And I'm just going to clean up some of these dead things. It feels wrong to call them gens, but, you know. Eric Schrader likes the thin, wispy deadwood. So it's not totally uncouth. And it'll be a little more proportionate with tree anyways. Let's see. It's pretty thin. I don't want to cut myself. So I'm just using my Jinshari knife. Making sure to work away from me. And I'm just coming through, stripping the bark off. It's deadwood. Trying very hard not to leave any tool marks or go too deep. I just want to remove this top layer of bark and the cambium. Yeah, so I actually was so bad with juniper. I still don't think I'm the best. And I think it's one thing that I've just been so grateful to get to study with Todd Schlafer on is juniper. I couldn't even keep them alive at first. And now, I definitely keep them alive. And I've just been trying to make a point to wire, style, whatever I can with them. Because I know that this is one of those classic species you've got to have a handle on. And I was definitely struggling. I know it's a little faux pas to be sitting here turning this tiny branch into a gen. But I was just looking on the Bonsai Fi site earlier today, and I thought the way Eric Schrader embraced some of the thin, wispy deadwood was pretty whimsical. So I'm just leaning into it. So, working for Todd, I am just so used to hearing about whether or not something is worth it as deadwood or just needs to be removed. It's like, I think, how big around a nickel is? That's what he looks for before he even thinks about keeping a dead branch for deadwood. Unless it has some real age, which some of the trees he collects definitely will have some really just ancient, thin, wispy stuff. Even then, though, he's not keeping it all. He'll keep one or two little pieces and remove everything else. But the thinking goes that stuff wouldn't last too long in nature. Something's going to catch on it, snag it, break it. So there's just no reason to leave it in bonsai. I think, especially with littler trees, it's fun getting to break some of those rules. Just because, if I was going for nickel-sized dead wood on this little Shohin juniper. It's gonna look funky. So funky. And it does not have to. Sorry, tweaking a branch. Can I ask your thoughts on where this is headed? So bad, right? Just tell me now. Put me out of my misery. Just kidding. I think this is pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. It's got some weird character to it. Sorry, I'm just trying to work in some curves. Okay, there's really just one more little piece of deadwood right here. I'm gonna get that stripped of bark and then call it for the day. I really appreciate you sitting and chatting with me today, or at least listening to me talk at myself. I've been putting a lot of time and effort into not just bonsai, but trying to get this channel off the ground and learning all the weird tech side of cameras and streaming software and video editing. You sitting with me has made it feel a little more worthwhile today, and I really appreciate that. Okay. Well, I am just about done here. I think before I go, I want to do something funky. If you are actively watching this and you drop your initials in the chat, I will carve them into this tree right now, at its space somewhere, and incorporate it into the shari, or a shari down the line. You're more than welcome not to do that, but could be immortalized right here, right now. Oh, thank goodness. Carving initials is not my forte. And it would have looked a little weird. Thanks for not taking me up on that. What's going on there? So that's dead. That's a line. Sorry, all this talk about sharis. I did not notice that this was a shari. I thought it was just a funky little live vein that the tree had going on. It's definitely blending in with some of the bark that's grown over the top of it. I'm thinking that would be fun to try and extend. So before I head out, say goodbye to ya, I'm just gonna work on this shari a little bit. I really enjoy carving deadwood. I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I take every opportunity that I can to practice a little. Kind of feel like I need to get a Fordham, which is not here. That's going to be down at First Branch Nursery, so I would unfortunately have to stop. Now, this is not quite the tool for the job, and I'm worried about doing some damage I can't undo. So I'm going to call it here for today. And, yeah. Here's the little tree we worked on. Thanks for sitting and chatting with me. You have a good night, pal.